my channel. So today I'm going to do a comparison video. So I have a high-end eyeshadow palette and a supposed dupe. So in this video I'm going to test out the palettes and tell you what I think. So the high-end one that we are going to be comparing is the Anastasia Prism palette. This is very new out right now and it is pretty much all over Instagram and social media. So I thought I would review this as well as compare it to the dupe, which is from the brand BadHabit, which is known for doing dupes of different palettes. They've done the dupe of like Modern Renaissance, there's a dupe of the Heat, and different palettes. So this is their Aurora palette. So as you can see, it looks very, very similar. It doesn't specifically say that it's a dupe, but just by looking at the two palettes together, which I will show you, identical. They are almost the exact same colors. Not the same order, but they're the exact same colors. Same setup with the squares and everything. So today in the video I thought I would test this out and do a look for you. And I did this look right here on my eyes and I used as many colors as I could. So just first take your guess in the comment section down below which eye you think is the Prism palette and which eye you think is the Aurora palette. And then as you keep watching, you'll be able to tell. But I definitely think they are very comparable. So if you want to see what I think, then just please keep on watching. And don't forget to stay tuned till the end and I will give you my final results of what I think. Lucid and Phenomena, Eden and Awakening, Unity and Dream State, Sphinx and Radiate, Osiris and Destiny, Sphere and Energy, Obsidian and Immortal. Spot on identical. So first we have, once again, left is ABH and right is the BadHabit. So there's Dimension, Ethereal, Parallel, Vibe, Pyramid, Soul, Throne, Ecstasy, Saturn, Mystique, Ethereal, Manifest, Lure, and Haze. So first I'm going to start out by taking Saturn, which is from the Anastasia palette, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to work this back and forth in my crease with the blending shade. As always, Anastasia's eyeshadows blend really well. The mattes are super pigmented. This was a little bit powdery, but I feel like her matte formula it's nothing crazy you can't work with. So just take a little touch into the product and then blend it onto the eye and you're fine. Now from the Aurora palette, I'm going to take the shade Mystique, which is supposed to be the dupe for Saturn. So this shade is a little bit more powdery. I feel like in the BadHabit palette, their mattes are going to be a little bit more powdery. But like I said, they still are really easy to work with. They blend just as well. And as you can see on the eyes, they're pretty similar. The Saturn one has a little bit more orange to it. But overall, it gives the same effect to the eye because we're just using this as our blender shade. Now going in with Lure from the ABH palette, I'm going to use this as the overall like blending out the edges shade. So this is a little bit more of like a mauvey pink shade, but I really liked how it paired with the Saturn shade. So I'm just going to blend this over top until there is no harsh edges. This is a super nice shade, very pigmented, and I really like how this looks. So now taking the shade right here from the BadHabit palette, and I can't see the name because my finger's on it, so I'm just going to blend that the same way that I did the Lure shade going over top. This shade is almost the exact same as the Lure shade, which is great. So I really liked how this looked. It blended pretty much the exact same and gave the exact same look. Now taking Parallel from the ABH palette, which is a really nice dark brown shade, I'm just going to concentrate this on the outer corner of my eye and in the lower portion of my crease. This is super pigmented like a lot of her shades are, blends really nicely as well. I did pack on the color a little bit just to make sure I got the nice full opacity with this still being blended. Now taking Vibe from the BadHabit palette, which is pretty much the dupe for the other shade, I'm just going to concentrate this on the outer corner in my lower crease. Now looking at this one on the eye, it's a little bit more red-brown than the other one, is a little bit more cool tone. I did think this one was a teeny bit more pigmented though, and it still blended out the same way. So now taking Dimension, which is actually my favorite shade from the ABH palette, so there's a lot to live up for the other palette. This is a really nice bluish purpley silver shade which has pink glitter in it, blended super nicely. I love applying any type of shimmer wet, so that's what I'm doing here with this one. Looks super reflective and very pretty on the eye. Now taking Ethereal from the BadHabit palette, so this one is a little bit more, it has the same color to it, so it's still the blue silver, but in my opinion it's a little bit more brighter, and instead of being the pink glitter reflex, it is silver, which I kind of didn't like because I love the different of the pink glitter. Now going back in with Parallel, I'm just going to blend out the edges of the shimmery shade we put on the lid. And I don't know if I said it before, but I did apply the BadHabit Ethereal shade wet as well. So I gave it the same chance that I gave the other one. So I'm just going to take Vibe from the other palette, do the exact same thing, make sure there's no harsh edges, blend everything out. So off camera I did some winged eyeliner and some waterline and tight line lining just because that's not really important for this video. We just want to focus on the eyeshadows. So now taking Throne from the Anastasia palette, I'm just going to smoke that on top of the black liner that I blended on my lower lash line so it has a little bit of a base to stick to. And then taking Ecstasy from the BadHabit palette, I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I actually like the shade Ecstasy a little bit better. It has more of a teal reflex to it, which was really nice, and it blended just as well as the other one. So now going back in with Saturn from ABH, we're just going to blend out the edges of that shade and make sure it is not as harsh and as stark there, and it blends more. And I'm just going to do the exact same thing with Mystique from the BadHabit palette, just blend out the Ecstasy shade so there's no harsh edges and it blends really seamlessly. Both of these didn't have a problem with blending at all, even with having the base of the eyeliner underneath, they both still had a really nice smoky blend to them, which I loved. Now going in with Eden, I'm just going to use this to blend out the shades even more, so just smoking that out on my lower lash line. This is actually from the ABH palette, I didn't mention that before. And I'm just going to take the dupe of it, which is called Awakening, from the BadHabit palette, and I'm just going to blend it out as well, just so we do the exact same steps on one eye that we do to the other. Now taking Lucid from the ABH palette, this is a really unique shade because it's like a white with really intense gold glitter. So I'm just going to spray my brush so it's wet, and I'm just going to apply it into my inner corner. This color is super nice. It's really pigmented. It is a little bit more chunky, so I think it applies best when it's wet. So then I'm going to take the shade Phenomenon from the BadHabit palette, which is supposedly the dupe, and same thing, I'm going to use it wet in my inner and outer corner, or my inner corner and my brow bone, not my inner and outer corner. And I'm just going to blend that out. In my all honesty, I still really like the Anastasia one better, but they both give the exact same look. I'm just going to take some mascara and apply it to my top and bottom lashes. This is Lash Craft by Sephora. So this is the completed eye look, and they look pretty much the same, as you can tell, which is awesome. Overall, after reviewing, I do think that the Aurora BadHabit palette is definitely a dupe. I think the colors are so similar, as you can see in my swatches of the palette. They're almost identical, and I did put the swatches in right after the intro, so if you didn't see those, if you skipped just the tutorial, I do think that the colors are almost identical. The BadHabit's a little bit more chalky, and some of the tones are off, but they're close enough to where I would say it definitely is a dupe. Like the Prism palette a little bit more, and I think it's just because I really enjoy Anastasia's formula, the way they blend, the way they work on the eye, but there are some shades in here that I like better than the one in the Anastasia palette. Like, I really love their black shade, Immortal. It is so much darker than the black in the Anastasia palette, and it blends just as well, which I like. I also really like the way Ecstasy looks, which is this green one here. That is the dupe for Throne, and I think this one, I like it better because it's more of that like teal intense shade. They do still have the same glitter, but I think the one from the BadHabit palette is a little bit brighter, and I like that more. I do prefer the Dimension shade in the Prism palette, which is the purpley one right there. The one for it in the Ethereal palette is a little bit more, there's silvery glitter in it, whereas the one in the Anastasia palette, there is more pink glitter to it, which I prefer, but not really small things. But other than that, I do think that they are definitely a dupe, and if you really don't want to splurge on the Anastasia one, which is a little bit more pricey, it's in the 40s, this one is only $12. $12 for an eyeshadow palette, which is amazing, and I do definitely think they are a dupe. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this where I can try to find dupes for really popular products, let me know in the comment section down below. I do have another palette from BadHabit that is supposedly a dupe for the Urban Decay Heat palette, so if you want to see me test those out and see what I think from them, leave that in the comment section down below. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up. Also subscribe. I post videos every Wednesday, and sometimes I do surprise videos like this on Sunday. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a great day. Bye!